Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Welcome back to On The Cusp. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you, Dave. Glad to be here.
What season are we on?
Who knows?
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is going to be a really fun episode because we've got Steve Kennedy from the Snaketuary, okay, and his wife. Your name is?
Patricia.
Patricia. Okay. So we got them here, and this is an interesting business.
Patricia,
okay.
Did you know what you were getting into when you married him?
No, not really.
Oh, God. Patricia, man, you're a trooper. My wife would have been long gone by now if I started showing
you would never get my wife.
A bunch of snakes.
Yeah. So, Stephen, what is that you do?
At Steve's Snaketuary, we rescue snakes out of homes and businesses. We take in pet reptiles that people can't take care of anymore, and then we do educational presentations with them.
Okay. And how is the volume of work here in Northwest Louisiana?
It can be pretty wild at times. We get between 400 and 500 calls about snakes and reptiles every year.
Really?
And we've done, our educational presentations have increased 10% year over year for the last several years. Last year we did over 100 presentations, and we're right now, and this year's, I still haven't filled up my calendar, we're right at about 110 presentations this year already.
Wow, that is incredible.
But on a daily basis, you'll have the phone ring and somebody's like,
constantly.
I just found a snake in my attic or in my house.
Exactly, yep.
And you guys come out and remove it. And I'm all about that. I mean, I understand the importance of snakes. I don't indiscriminately kill snakes. A lot of people say the only good snake is a dead snake. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
Okay, that's not necessarily true. Okay, because we need the king snakes. You and I were talking about the speckled king snake. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see one of those. It gets an automatic bite, right? Yeah. Because I know that if there's a copperhead anywhere within its range, it's going after it.
Right.
It'd rather go after that than me. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think snakes are very important to the ecosystem, and please call somebody like you.
Exactly.
I'll get that plug in there right off the bat. Call you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Steve's like a good fireman. When you meet a good fireman that like loves the fire, he's just waiting for the fire. Steve's waiting for a snake.
I'll tell you this too. I'm a firefighter and advanced EMT also.
Oh, really?
So I tell people, I tell people you got 3 in 1 with me. So if you try to burn your house down because you see a snake, I'll get the snake out and then put the fire out. Or if you have a heart attack because you see a snake, I'll get the snake and give you CPR. So you get 3 in 1 with me.
Oh my God, showing up. You're totally prepared. So you got to tell us what relationship between venomous, non-venomous snakes that you're, being called to relocate.
Most of the time they're non-venomous, most of the time. But because people, they just, they don't take the time to do the research or even study snakes. And I understand, look, if it's not something you're into, that's fine. But we've only got 5 venomous snakes in our area. And so it's really easy once you learn venomous to non-venomous, the differences, what they look like, their patterns and colors and things. But a lot of people get them confused. They think a lot of non-venomous snakes, especially the rat snakes and water snakes, are copperheads.
It is hard to distinguish between a water snake. I mean, you got to look close.
Well, it's really something you don't want to guess wrong on.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to guess wrong. I can assure you.
Well, here's the thing too. I could tell you stories all day, but I'll tell you one. A lady called me because she was having she had the house that's on the beams.
Yeah.
And had some people doing some work up under the house, some work with the water lines. And they dropped all their tools, left all their tools, left. Said, there's this big rattlesnake under there. We're not coming back until you find the snake. So, you don't have a lot of room to move up under a house, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm up under there crawling. They said it was a rattlesnake. And so I'm up under there with my gloves and tongs, and I'm carefully pulling the plastic back. I see the snake. I grab it and pull it out. They said it was a rattlesnake, right? So I pulled it out. And I'm very careful pulling it out, backing out of there. And by the time I got it out, it was just a rat snake is all it was, but it was covered in mud and dirt and things. So, I mean, if they're covered in mud or something like that, you can't tell sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's probably wise. Call a professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I can't imagine crawling under a house in that little space and trying to pull a snake out.
So, what is the permitting certifications that you have to do this kind of operation?
Well, first of all, you have to have, when in Caddo Parish, you've got to have a whole separate permit. You've got to have a permit through Caddo Parish Animal Control to keep any of the snakes. Their permit actually says anything over 3 feet. You also have to have another permit through Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries. That's any constrictors over 8 feet or any venomous. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like even in Bossier Parish, Louisiana is separated. Each parish has their own laws. Bossier Parish doesn't issue any permits, so they don't allow you to have any snakes.
Really?
And, yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that in the state of Louisiana. They either keep snakes illegally, they don't get their wildlife and fisheries permit, nothing. And that's something that we had to deal with last year in 2024. We had to go back and forth with wildlife and fisheries. I went down to Baton Rouge several times because they were trying to change all the laws. And so they did restrict a lot of snakes. So you have to at least have those 2 permits. Now, to actually get them out of houses, to be able to do that, you've got to have I've got the National Wildlife Controller Operators Association permit. And then, of course, as the business side of it, you've got all your business permits and everything else. You've got to keep up with your insurance, and there's a lot of operating costs that people don't understand.
An insurance guy loves you.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, what you doing? Well, we're going to this house and grab this rattlesnake.
Yeah. But you've got a lot of certifications too. You're not just certified to handle reptiles. You've got multiple certifications. What all do you have?
Well, I'm also a firefighter advanced EMT. So, I've got all my firefighter stuff, all my EMT stuff. But then, like I said, the whole business side of it, just to have the business set
Right.
up. You've
Yeah,
got all
let's
those
talk
costs and
about the
everything, too.
business side. Okay. The business of getting snakes out of people's businesses or houses. I mean, is it profitable? How is the business?
So I'm the only one that does what I do around here. So I'm kind of
call and get a quote?
So,
hey, Steve, I got this snake. How much?
So, well, as far as the calls, I'll go ahead and say this too. Somewhere down the line, we can go into more detail later if we have time, but I did hook up, being a firefighter advanced EMT, I did hook up with 911 dispatch. So instead of them calling police officers or other firefighters out, they called me directly. And then somewhere down the line, I hooked up with animal control also. So instead of, animal control is tied up with dogs and cats and all that.
So a lot of the calls
So,
are coming from them,
Yeah.
not
So
from customers.
well, a lot of times
hey,
customers,
Steve, there's a snake in, whatever address.
Yeah, but then sometimes people will look up, they'll just Google, hey, snake removal or snake rescue or whatever, and then my stuff pops up. Of course, that goes along with the business
You
and the
quote
SEO
them
and all
like
that
how
stuff.
scared they sound?
Yeah.
Like they sound really scared. You're like, oh, that's like $1,000.
Or do you go by the foot? You show up,
Yeah.
Well, how long do you think the snake is? Okay. I think it's 6 foot. And it's probably a 3 foot. You know what I mean? You see a snake, it's a 6 footer.
Yeah,
right?
we get calls like that all the time. Of course, when your adrenaline goes, you get hyped up and everything, your perception isn't where it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of that. People think they have a 12-foot snake and it's a little foot long, or something. So.
Yeah, I always tell my wife, she takes all the plants outside, sets them outside, and I said, check those plants before you bring them back in.
Yeah.
Okay? Because a lot of, your garden snakes and everything, they're just looking for some place to find a meal, right?
Yep.
And she brings them in, and then next thing you know, you got one of the cats walking through the house with a little garden snake.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, true story.
Okay, so somebody calls, I've got a snake in my house.
Yep.
Okay, what happens then? How does the business part of this work?
A lot has changed throughout the years. I've had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way because just nobody does this, right? So I've had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, you're making this up as you go, for sure. Yeah.
So I have learned to ask a lot of questions before I rush out on a call. Used to, I would just drop everything, just rush out on a call. But I did find there's a lot of I don't want to say the dark side of the business, man, but you've got things that just don't, some things that people don't think about. Like I used to rush out on calls and I get there and they're like, well, I saw the snake a week ago. Or I saw it 2 weeks ago. Or I wasn't here, somebody else saw it, that kind of thing. And then, so I've learned to ask a lot of questions before I go. Do you still see the snake? How big was it? Do you have a picture of it? When was the last time you saw it? These kind of things.
Yeah.
Before I go out on a call,
Hunting
because
for
it's
a
not.
snake.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
and then
really.
I've spent hours looking for snakes, just because I'll tell them, look, if you see a snake now, keep an eye on it until I get there. They don't do that, and they almost never do that. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get there, and I've been hours going through houses, and I'm not gonna talk bad about anybody, but some people's houses just aren't kept up properly. You know what I mean?
They're
And so
freaking
it's-
out like, you
Yeah,
gotta find
yeah.
the snake, Steve. You can't leave.
Yeah, you
Or
can't
you,
leave.
yeah,
can't
or you
leave.
go in and
Yeah.
they've got, and again, I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody, but sometimes you go in a house and there's holes all in the walls. Well, how'd the snake get in? You got holes all on your walls, you know?
Yeah,
Or
And
your
then-
floor. You're
yeah.
poking
Oh,
holes
yeah.
in your floor.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. And and then of course I always tell people a snake's not going to make your home its home unless there's a food source. So a lot of times people have problems with mice or rats, and that's what's chewing holes in the walls. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
I've been out to a house. There was this one house that I went out to several times, and every time I would rummage through the lady's stuff, she'd have boxes of paper in every closet, and there's little baby mice in every closet. The mice and rats were having babies, and well, that's
What
why
do you
you're
think?
continually calling me, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot, just keep your yard cut real low. Get rid of any kind of hiding spots. Snakes are ectotherms, so they use the outside temperature to warm up and cool down. So if it gets too hot, they look for a colder spot. If it gets too cold, they look for a warmer spot. And sometimes the way the temperature you have in your house, if it gets, how we get, it gets over 100 degrees outside here. It actually gets too hot. So, you leave your garage door open, the weather stripping around the bottom of your
My
doors
garage
and things like
door's
that.
about to be closed so much more than it is currently.
Yeah, and then the other thing I tell people too is, first of all, if you see one, that doesn't necessarily mean there's another one. They don't run in pairs or groups or anything like that. And then there's nothing you can put around your yard that's going to keep snakes away. The lime, sulfur, mothballs, even the snake waste stuff does nothing for snakes. And plus all this stuff has a chemical in it called naphthalene, which is a carcinogen. It can actually make people real sick breathing that stuff in. Go out to hundreds of houses every year. They've got lime, sulfur, they got all that stuff. Went out to a house last year. The guy had all that stuff around his house. He called me back 3 times in the same day, finding more snakes in his house. So, I jokingly told him, I said, if you want snakes, you need to put all this stuff out. But yeah, so.
People are
yeah.
nuts about snakes. My mom found a little snake in her pool, scooped it up in the pool net. And I was like, well, what'd you do with it? And she threw it over the fence. And I was like, you don't think that snake's gonna come through that little fence?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, so every time I go out on a call, I try to educate everybody every time I go out on a call. One thing, kind of what you mentioned, when you said people go nuts over snakes, I think that fear is just passed down from generation to generation, honestly. We do presentations, like I said, we did over 100 presentations last year. We got 110 set up this year. A lot of times we've seen when we set up somewhere, the parents literally are jerking their kids back. And it's creating that fear. And that just gets passed down. And that's our mission statement is to eliminate fear through education and bring peace through rescue.
All right, Steve, I
So,
hear you. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So how many times you been bit?
I get bit all the time. All the time.
Steve, that's why they're jerking their kids back.
Yeah.
You know they're getting bit by snakes.
I will say this. I do have, for the venomous, because we deal with venomous also, I do have bite-proof gloves and hooks and tongs and things that are used for the venomous. And then when we do presentations, though, the very first thing I say, after I introduce myself, is just if I let you pet a snake or hold a snake today, does not mean if you see one in your yard, you go grab it. I make sure, because we're all about
Right.
safety too. We want
You don't have to worry about that with me. I'm not running out there and grabbing no snake. I don't care.
Yeah.
Even if speckled-bellied king snake, I'm getting something and helping him to, get out of the yard.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Right. But we try to stop the fear before it starts, honestly. Because there's this. I'm not going to take venomous snakes to a library show, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm teaching first responders, doctors, things like that, I'm going to take the venomous. We tailor our presentations to who we talk to. But it's all about the education, and we're trying, like I said, we're trying to eliminate that fear, because honestly, it's just that ingrained fear that gets passed down, and that's where all the crazy stuff comes from, like throwing it over the fence where it could come right back.
Fear's good for business.
You're right. You're right.
You want them freaking out. That drives the price up. Right?
So what's the biggest snake you've relocated?
So a lot of the rat snakes, they can reach up to 6 feet. Those are native snakes.
Right.
Now we also, like I said, we take in pet reptiles people can't take care of anymore. And so we have a lot of exotics. So first of all, I'm gonna ask you this. I'll ask you a question to lead into this. What if I asked you what the biggest snake in the world is, what would you say?
An anaconda.
Anaconda?
anaconda.
Is that what you think? So that's a trick question. Biggest can either mean longest or heaviest. So the longest snakes in the world are reticulated pythons. They can get up to 30 feet. The green anacondas don't get that long, but they weigh more. So they're the heaviest. So we actually have some anacondas and we have some reticulated pythons. So the longest reticulated pythons that we have 2 of them that are 22 feet.
So these are people that get them and they keep growing and growing and growing.
They keep growing. They don't want to.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also we have, sometimes you have people that get pets and they either move to a different place that won't allow them or something like that. Or like you said, they get too big, they can't handle them. Or it's a sad story, but last year there was a guy in Texas that died and his wife and mom didn't want to take care of the snakes anymore. So they called me and we took them in. So it's situations like that.
So do you try to find homes for them, or you just keep?
Well, we don't rehome the ones we take in for several reasons. One of the main reasons is when somebody gives us a reptile, they're expecting us to take care of it. You know, they're not expecting us to try to
Steve
find
loves
it at home.
snakes.
So where do you?
Steve, there's not enough snakes in this world for Steve. He's not giving that snake away, Dave. How many snakes you got, Steve?
A couple hundred of them.
So when you go out and you rescue, you go out and you remove a snake from somebody's house, it's just a big rat snake.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and say, hey, this is a really nice specimen here. Where do you take them? What do you do with them?
So with the local native snakes, we don't keep all of those, but we do hold quite a few back. The reason we do that for 2 reasons. Number one, because of our presentations, we try to rotate our snakes so it doesn't stress the same snake out. But also we work on movie sets, and never know, the movie industry is just so wild and crazy. You never know what they're going to call for. And so we hold a lot back, because if they ask me for 20 or 30 snakes, which they've done several times before, and I give them all my rat snakes or all my water snakes, I'm not going to have anything for presentations. So we hold a lot of the native snakes back, but we don't keep all of those. But we've got, I'm not going to give my secret locations out, but we've got places we take them to.
But
we do have places we take them to.
Damn, this place seems to have a lot of snakes. Then you see Steve driving off. You're like, oh, man.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of rain this year, okay? So there's lots of snakes.
So that moves them around?
Absolutely.
So that's good for business. A bunch of rain?
The rain drives everything out. And the one thing, too, is a lot of people don't understand, the rain drives everything out, not just the snakes, so it's going to drive their food out too. And then another thing that causes snakes to come is people leave porch lights on at night. That creates a food chain. That's going to get all the bugs to come, then all the frogs and toads are going to come to eat the bugs, then you got all the snakes coming to eat the frogs and toads.
Yep.
So the rain, keeping the light on at night, things like that, just kind of create that food chain.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's next? I mean, you guys are very successful here in the community.
Yeah.
What are y'all looking at doing next?
Man, we're at a point now, we've already expanded twice, and we're at a point now where we have to expand again.
When you say expand, is this at your house?
Yeah, so we've added on. Yeah, we've added on several times.
So you got all these things right there.
I'm waiting for my other 2 kids to move out, and then I got plenty of room, right?
Oh,
How long does feeding all these snakes take?
Yeah, it takes a while. So I have to do a little bit every day. I can't do it all in one day. It would take all day if I did everything in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many employees do you have now?
Right now, it's just me and my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's...
So really your issue is you can handle the volume of work. It's just, what do you do with the snakes when you get them?
Well, and even the volume of work. Yesterday, I had 3 calls at one time, back to back. I was on the phone talking to one person. I had another call.
It just rained. We just had 3 inches of rain.
Yeah, yep.
So do your neighbors know what you do?
I think. So what?
They got no idea this guy next door has got 200 snakes in his house.
So one lady, so we actually bought
If they watch the podcast, they're going to.
Right.
We're sending it to them.
We might not be helping y'all. Okay?
Yeah, no, it's a good problem to have, man.
Yeah.
So we have one neighbor that's been there a long time, since at least since we moved in. And it's my grandparents' old house, and it was her dad that used to live there, so she kind of knows. The other neighbors, were friends of our grandparents, and they moved out, went to a retirement center. The people that moved in next door, we did kind of give them a heads up when they moved in, and they've actually called us for snakes. They found snakes in their backyard. So,
they got out of your cage.
Yeah, they got out of yours. So you brought this big bag.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you bring us today?
All right. So I'm going to bring this one out first.
All right.
This one's this one we actually got yesterday. She actually went out and got this one yesterday, out of I don't want to give away. It was a business.
Okay.
Locally. Yeah. Okay. And they have other animals. I'm trying because I don't want to give it away in case they don't want me to give it away.
Right.
You know?
We understand that. You don't have to tell us that.
But this one's a rat snake.
Damn, Steve.
So this one, a lot of people get confused with water moccasins because of the colors and patterns sometimes. These guys can be grays, browns, blacks. They have little squares on their back. Interesting thing about these guys, not only do they eat mice and
I would
rats,
say that's about 12 feet. How many feet?
right.
That's about a 10-foot snake.
Yeah. These guys actually climb up walls.
Yes.
So if somebody has a bird's nest in the corner of their house, they'll actually climb up the wall to eat the birds. So if somebody calls me and they have a snake in their attic or above their doorway, I know it's going to be one of these guys.
Right.
That's not venomous?
Nope, it's not venomous.
Oh, I would see him and for sure think he was venomous.
Yeah, why would you think he's venomous?
I don't know, because it just looks...
You can look at his head.
Yeah.
I can look at him and from the coloring because I've seen so many. My wife has a lot of chickens. Okay,
Yeah.
so I see a lot. So I'm constantly relocating them, and I keep telling her, "You got to do a better job of keeping this feed in these garbage cans because what is, people they have their yard chickens. Everybody wants to have backyard chickens.
Yeah.
Okay, so." Where are you keeping your feed? You're spilling feed and stuff like that. Don't be surprised when you get a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
He was in a business?
Yeah.
He was in a business.
Yeah. So a lot of people think these are venomous. So I'll go ahead and say this too. So a lot of people watching, a lot of people think you can go by the head shape, right? If it's got a diamond or
that's what
triangle
you
shape
always
head.
hear, yeah.
Well, these guys and the non-venomous water snakes will flatten their heads out into a
I've
diamond
heard
or
that.
triangle shape.
Absolutely.
You can't go by that. And some people think that you can go by the eyes if it's got a cat slit pupil.
Steve, that thing's about to bite you.
Nah, he's all right. So if the pit vipers, the water moccasins, copperheads, and rattlesnakes we have do have a cat slit pupil. But in a low light situation, their pupils dilate just like people's eyes. And plus, I never want anybody grabbing a snake going, let me look at his eyes, right? We don't want to do that.
Don't have to worry about that for me.
But we also have coral snakes here. Coral snakes are highly venomous. They have a neurotoxic venom. They don't have the diamond or triangle shaped head, and they have round pupils.
Oh,
So you can't go by the eyes and you can't go by the head shape.
So what can you go by?
So there is one thing you can go by, but I tell you, don't pick up a snake, flip it over and look. But you can go by the tail. If you find the cloaca, which is that little slit where they go to the bathroom and they have their babies, come here, buddy, cooperate with me. If you look past that, you see the 2 rows of scales past that?
Yeah.
See the 2 rows of scales?
Yeah.
It's non-venomous. If you see 1 row of scales, it's venomous.
I'm never going to get that close, so I don't have to worry about that.
But if you
Once
find,
it's dead, you might check.
yeah, so
But now you're not going to kill snakes because we're going to call you Steve.
that's right. So these guys are rat snakes. They can get quite large too. They can get 6 feet.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's why
Yeah.
a lot of people,
How big is that one?
I don't know. Stand
you
up. How
think,
tall are you?
4
We can
feet?
stand it up next to
Hell
you.
no.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's like
not-
that's like 4 feet.
Yeah, probably.
That's a good size.
Yeah, I would have called that
That's
one
a-
like
that's a
6
typical,
or 8 feet for sure.
good typical black snake.
Yeah, but that's a rat snake. Hold that for me. Yeah, that's one we get called out for a lot. And like I said, we actually got that out of a business yesterday. But
I know everybody in my office wants me to squeal, okay,
Yeah.
because they will not let this. I'm not going to squeal, okay. I'm okay. I see it. My rule of snake is I'm okay. I see a snake. I'm saying, okay, there's a snake. It's when I look down, okay, and there's a snake. I got problems.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, the other
And so
one that
that
we brought.
snake though has not probably ever been handled until
Until
like
we got it,
yesterday.
yeah.
Until they got it yesterday.
So it's
So-
not like that's a tame snake.
Right.
And it's acting cool
Yeah.
as can be.
So most of the time, I never say a snake is aggressive. A snake's not going to come after you. It's not going to chase you. It's not going to try to eat you. But they are defensive. So if they feel cornered, if they feel threatened,
So
they
that
feel like they
snake
can't
right
get away.
now is not feeling
Yeah,
like anything.
so-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you take
yeah.
a swing at him.
He just thinks we're a big tree.
You take a swing at him with your hoe,
Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah.
whack
Yeah.
him and not
Yeah.
kill him. He feels pretty threatened, and
Yeah.
I keep telling my wife that. I said, he's not going to bother you unless you just miss.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't miss.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he just thinks we're a big tree right now because he understands we're not a threat, But we just caught it yesterday, so.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So most of the time, but all snakes have personalities just like people too. I've got some that I know I can't take to presentations just because of their attitude. But that makes it kind of interesting. I mean, it'd be a boring world if everybody was the same, right?
So you got snakes that are cool, that are chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that. I would think they're all coming after you.
Yeah. Well, you can hold this next one,
No,
though.
I'm not coming from behind this chair.
Whoa, man.
I may not even be in the shot
This is a
anymore.
real snake now. Now we're
So
into
we got
real
this
snake.
one.
Oh,
What the
Jesus.
This is an albino boa. This one's name is Sunny. We actually rescued this one from a house fire almost 2 years ago. Yeah. So
Dave, I wouldn't have even been sitting in that chair if I would have known that was in that bag.
Yeah, but this one's really cool, man. Like
That's
I said,
a
this
serious snake.
yeah. And this is not even our biggest. Do I need to go home and get one of my 22-foot ones?
Steve, you get bitten by that?
Huh? I've been bit by some this size, yeah. Those don't feel too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him. He knows. He knows where the heat
He's
is.
not going to bite you. He's just going to squeeze you to death.
That's a beautiful specimen
I mean,
right there.
that's crazy.
That's a beautiful
So somebody
snake.
had that as a pet, and basically,
So here, that was an interesting story too. Like I said, I was actually not working that day, but the captain went in. They knew the lady had some animals. The captain went in to check on the animals, saw the snake in the cage, grabbed it, and passed it to my brother-in-law out the window. That video went viral everywhere. That went viral last year. And
Firefighters rescue snake.
Yep. And so, of course, they called me, and I went out there to get it. And, I had to be real careful because, look, the lady her house just caught on fire, right? She lost a lot of other animals. And so I had to talk to the fire chief. I had to talk to the sheriff's office. I did call animal control. She actually did not have her permits, so she legally couldn't keep it. And so animal control said, nope, you got to take it. And come to find out, she was actually just babysitting it for a friend of mine. I don't want to go into details, but my friend had to surrender it for a little while. And but since she didn't have her permits, I had to take it. So I called my friend after I found
Steve
that
was
out.
pumped.
Yeah.
He was trying not to show how
Absolutely.
excited he was.
Yeah. So,
House fire.
so this has been really super. You're the first one to bring a demonstration
Dude, this is
like this
incredible.
out of 200 podcasts, right, guys? 200.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never been this uncomfortable on my own couch.
I might have been at some point.
But
Through the
hey,
years.
this has been an incredible episode, and I want to finish it up with, look, if hey, you guys are doing a great thing. I
cool.
appreciate it. This is really cool. If somebody's got a snake and it needs to get relocated, or they can't take care of it, call you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
This proves you can make a business
Yeah.
out of it.
Anything.
Yeah. Oh,
It's about
definitely.
this is about your
Whatever
passion.
you're passionate
Whatever
about.
your passion
Exactly.
is, okay, you can make it work.
And I tell kids that all the time. Look, you could have the wildest ideas ever, but don't think that can't be something.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They don't teach that in
Chase after
school.
your
That's right.
dreams.
It's not, I'll
Yeah.
guarantee you, when you get up, you don't go, oh my God, I got to go to work. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Because
He's got 200 snakes to feed.
You got 200 snakes to feed. All right. Thanks for coming,
Thank
guys.
you.
This has
Thank
been
y'all
great.
so much.
Whoa, let me get
That's
off this couch.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.